What's up, America? So I woke up today and I was thinking of a new topic, because that's just what I do. Usually, what I do is I write in a journal about this kind of shit, right? But at the same time, though, I feel like the more things that I think about and the more things I kind of discover that I don't share, I feel like I'm robbing people, you know? Because I feel like other guys, other girls, whoever, can benefit from, the conclusions that I come up to, right? So I was on a date with a chick. This was a couple weeks ago, and she was telling me about a female friend of hers who likes to use Tinder, right? And you guys all know what that is. Tinder, swipe left, swipe right, whatever. Apparently this girl's attractive and she gets lots of attention, and so she told me that this girl has gone on like 60 plus dates, within a couple months or whatever, right? And she had said that this girl has this policy that if a man doesn't pay for her meal, that she fucking just writes him off immediately, right? Like that's the deal breaker, And I was thinking about that and I was like, what makes someone think that they're so good that they can have such a high standard, I don't know if I've met any guys who ever say that they have such a standard, like, oh, if I go on a date with a girl, if she doesn't ... I will completely fucking blow her off, and I don't know if all women are this way. I sure hope not, but I think it's one thing for her to do that, but it's another for men to play into it as well, right? Because some of my guy friends, they'll tell me that they're pissed off because they blew $250 in a couple months taking a girl out, right? And then in the end, she just decided that she wasn't into him, and so she just said, "Hey, sorry," And they were frustrated because they thought, "Oh, well, I'm paying for the meals, so why didn't she stop me from doing such a thing or whatever?" And I tell my guy friends that honestly I don't pay for meals anymore. I learned that from David D'Angelo when I was in my early 20s, when I was about 20 years old. He was the first person who proposed to not pay for a woman's meal anymore, to actually have her pay for half of it, to just let her know that you're going to expect her to carry her own weight. And honestly, still to this day, I still do that. I'll ask a woman out, I ask her out, and I pick the place. But when it's time to pay for the meal, I ask them if they'll pay for half of it. And they always will, a woman always will, and it actually won't ruin how things were going with the two of you, honestly. I think a lot of guys are afraid that it would be like a negative thing, like, she's expecting a gentleman. But what you need to realize is like this chick's friend, she's gone out on 60 plus dates, and I'm sure all of them probably paid for the damn meal, right? Well, she didn't keep any of them, obviously, unless she did, and she's just a player, So, it's just something I realize is that, not all girls, but some of these girls out there, they just have this biased, just standard that's so damn high that how could they even be a real person, How could somebody say such a thing as that, as oh, I only want the right guy would be paying for my meal, and if he doesn't, then oh, he's not the right guy, Like, you're gonna judge a person based on paying for a damn meal? That's like the most superficial thing I've ever heard, right? That's just fucking bogus. It's unrealistic that people would even think that they have such ability to expect such a thing, right? And the problem is too is that it only continues that because guys play into it, If someone has a high standard but nobody is doing it, eventually they're gonna have to let it go because nobody's falling into that, right? So for example, I'm sure many men would still want a woman who can cook, right? And it'd be nice to come home and have a woman have a nice meal for us. But you know what? If we even ask for such a thing, or if we even have a standard like that, almost all of them just completely cut us off, right? So what does it do? It forces us to have to change and go, okay, fine, I guess, we shouldn't expect such a thing or whatever. But if a woman if her high expectations is a man has to pay for the meal, and if not, then you lose her completely, right? The only way to stop women from doing this is to actually stop playing into it the same way that women stop playing into to men's expectations, right? And I encourage all men out there that you should stop paying for everything, because when people expect something, it's no longer courtesy. It's no longer like a favor when it's expected, right? When women are expecting something, that's not generosity. It's now a requirement, right? Men would do that just as a generosity to kind of show, hey, you know what, like, I care for this woman and I'll pay for her meal. And I think there's just been some real big misconceptions here, because I don't believe that it'll actually help your chances at all with her, and that shouldn't be what the interaction was based on anyway, right? Because if someone's compatible with you, it's all about like personality, connection, how the kind of things that they say to the kinds of things that you think, just how you feel being around them. But if you base it on one thing like, oh, he pays for my meal, that's superficial, and if a woman is basing her judgment on that, then she's superficial, right? So if you feel like you should pay for a woman's meal because it'll help your chances, then you're actually getting yourself into a superficial relationship, is how I see it. And I think only once all men we start to stand up and stick up for ourselves and say, hey, you know what, this isn't fair. You're expecting things from us, but you're not giving anything back to us. Women don't have any obligations at all to do anything for us, early on. If you ever done things like ask a woman to buy you a drink and see their reaction, I've never had a woman do that for me when I asked for it, like, and I don't expect them to, but I do it because I want to see, like, where's their mind at, It seems to me that women just don't care to feel like that they need to win us over at all, like, though I've had women ask me to buy them a drink before, and just because, and it was stupid, because it was like, just because they were like talking to me at this bar, they felt obligated that I would buy them a drink just because they're giving me some of their time, and it's like, wait a minute now, what makes your time so much more valuable than mine? I'm also here equally. If men and women are equal, then we should be buying each other a damn drink, right? That's what me and my friends do. Like, I'll buy him a drink, he buys me the next drink. Like, that's how we do it. That's equality. But if women are expecting us to do stuff, then we need to stop doing it, because it shouldn't be an expectation of us. Like, we're a lot more valuable than what we have to offer, than our money, than our wallets. There's a lot more inside of us that we have to offer, and I think only once we start leading with that will we be able to make some changes. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Tune in next time. I'll talk to you guys again. Bye.